Please like and subscribe to this channel, you fucking losers. Thank you.
So, in labor-related news, Amazon got its first union in Staten Island, New York. This is obviously pretty fucking awesome and marks a huge win for organized labor. The union was formed by a man named Christian Smalls, who is the founder of a labor activist group called the ALU, or the Amazon Labor Union. When the vote for a union won, he gave his little victory speech and was popping bottles of champagne like a boss. And he was also totally swagged out, by the way. I mean, look at him. He's fucking dripping, styling all over Jeff Bezos. Anyway, this is obviously a huge win for labor and a step in the right direction. And it's also emblematic of this rising labor movement that we've actually been seeing in the past couple of years during the pandemic. Whether we're talking about all of the strikes that went on with the workers at Frito-Lay in Topeka, Kansas, the strikes at Kellogg's plants in Michigan, Nebraska, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania, the UAW workers' strike at John Deere, and of course the unionization efforts that have been taking place at Starbucks stores all across the country that have actually led to the first ever Starbucks union forming in Buffalo, New York. And of course, all of these labor efforts are great and desperately needed, given how low the rate of union membership has been in the United States, and how it has a pretty positive correlation with rising inequality. And yes, I do understand that correlation doesn't equal causation, but given how much the rate of unionization and inequality mirror each other so much on this graph, and given the effectiveness of organized labor to provide higher salaries and benefits for workers, I think this is just pretty obvious that the lack of worker power is at least a factor for why we've seen such skyrocketing inequality within the United States. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is this article that has come out in the wake of the union victory at Amazon. This article is from The Intercept, and it's about an employee chat app that is being developed by Amazon that apparently has a bunch of banned words and phrases. I'll let you guess what kind of words and phrases are banned in this application. If you are guessing that pro-union and pro-worker words and phrases are banned, then you are absolutely correct. In fact, it's actually worse than you think. Here's the article. Amazon will block and flag employee posts on a planned internal messaging app that contain keywords pertaining to labor unions, according to internal company documents reviewed by The Intercept. An automatic word monitor would also block a variety of terms that could represent potential critiques of Amazon's working conditions like, quote, slave labor, prison, and plantation, as well as restrooms, presumably related to reports of Amazon employees relieving themselves in bottles to meet punishing quotas. Quote, our teams are always thinking about new ways to help employees engage with each other, said Amazon spokesperson Barbara M. Agray. This particular program has not been approved yet and may change significantly or even never launch at all. In November 2021, Amazon convened a high-level meeting in which top executives discussed plans to create an internal social media program that would let employees recognize co-workers' performance with posts called shoutouts, according to a source with direct knowledge. The major goal of the program, Amazon's head of worldwide consumer business, Dave Clark, said, was to reduce employee attribution by fostering happiness among workers and also productivity. Shoutouts would be part of a gamified reward system in which employees are rewarded virtual stars and badges for activities that, quote, add direct business value. Documents state at the meeting, Clark remarked that, quote, some people are insane star collectors. But company officials also warned of what they called, quote, the dark side of social media, and decided to actively monitor posts in order to ensure a, quote, positive community. At the meeting, Clark suggested that the program should resemble an online dating app like Bumble, which allows individuals to engage one-on-one rather than more forum-like platform like Facebook. Following the meeting, an auto-ban word monitor was devised, constituting a blacklist that would flag and automatically block employees from sending a message that contains any profane or inappropriate keywords. In addition to profanities, however, the terms include many relevant to organized labor, including union, grievance, pay raise, and compensation. Other banned keywords include terms like ethics, unfair, slave, master, freedom, diversity, injustice, and fairness. Even some phrases like, quote, this is concerning will be banned. With free text, we risk people writing shoutouts that generate negative sentiments among the viewers and the receivers, a document summarizing the program states. We want to lean towards being restrictive on the content that can be posted to prevent a negative associate experience. In addition to the automated systems, managers will have the authority to flag or suppress any shoutouts that they find inappropriate, the documents show. A pilot program is slated to launch later this month. In addition to slurs and swear words, the planned list includes the following words. Let's read them. I hate, union, fire, terminated, compensation, pay raise, bullying, harassment, I don't care, rude, this is concerning, stupid, this is dumb, prison, threat, petition, grievance, injustice, diversity, ethics is banned, fairness, accessibility, vaccine, senior ops, living wage, representation, unfair, favoritism, rate, TOT, unite/unity, plantation, slave, slave labor, master, concerned, freedom is banned, restrooms, robots, trash, committee, and coalition. Okay, this is some dystopian, evil supervillain bullshit. I mean, what the fuck? The word freedom is banned. Now, I don't know how effective this is actually going to be at stopping union efforts at Amazon, especially since these workers could probably just go discuss their grievances in other platforms, messaging services, but regardless, all this really does is prove our point right, that we need more unions and more worker representation within our economy. You know, Amazon has been saying a whole lot of bullshit about how, you know, workers at Amazon, they don't need a union and that the company will take care of them and anything they could possibly need, but this, if anything, disproves that and shows that these companies don't really give a fuck about their workers, and of course they don't. Yeah, it's not in their interest to, since labor is seen as just another cost of doing business. This also just proves that a lot of the indictments that we as, you know, people on the left, you know, have been making about capitalism are just completely true. You know, that capitalism and privately owned firms are almost always inherently undemocratic in their approach and resemble what are effectively mini tyrannies. They act as private governments where the rules that we associate with democracy just don't exist. Your employer has most, if not all, the power over you and your work, especially if you're someone who's on the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder and works these kind of working class jobs. Anyways, enough doomer posting. How about we go the other direction? Let's huff some hopium, if we will, okay? What are some policy positions that we could advocate for that would bring about more worker power in the United States? Well, for starters, we absolutely needed to pass the PRO Act, or the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, which would degrade the power of things like right-to-work laws and allow unions to collect dues from all workers within a firm, even those outside the union. It would classify some workers who are currently classified as, quote, independent contractors instead as just employees. Employers would no longer be able to hold mandatory anti-union meetings. From what I understand, it tightens worker protections when organizing. The PRO Act also provides more worker power by removing things like secondary strike prohibitions, disallowing the permanent replacement of workers on strike, as well as it also bans proactive lockouts. The bill would also allow the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, to fine employers up to $50,000 for every labor violation and up to $100,000 for repeat offenders, and provide monetary compensation to workers affected by said violations. And there are other things that we could advocate for besides the PRO Act as well. You know, we could also advocate for things like, you know, having a more centralized wage bargaining system with sectoral unions, which would make collective agreements that would cover entire sectors of workers as opposed to making collective agreements only at the enterprise level. We could also advocate for things like co-determination policies that legally require firms to reserve a certain percentage of their board seats to be voted on by workers so that there can be some level of worker representation on the boards of these companies. Yeah, you huffing that hopium, boys. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe. It gives me a nice hit of dopamine when you do that. And if you're wondering where I've been for the past few months and why I've only been uploading shitty memes, the reality is that I've been very busy with work and college. So yeah, my life is fucking boring right now. So yeah, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good time with all your endeavors. Catch you on the flip side, and peace the fuck out.